really not a big tea drinker. I pretty much just drink lemon water and Prosecco. Prosecco only on the weekends, of course. I do like my Prosecco. And I also do like my Journey tea, and I know you do too. It's Kiki, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. What I like to do is talk about anything and everything classic rock. If you are already subscribed to my channel, I thank you so much for sticking with me and watching all of this craziness that's going on. If you are not yet subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below, as well as the notification ding dong bell, and then you'll be notified every time I upload a video about classic rock. What is better than that? And it costs you nothing. Speaking about costing, well, practically nothing, this shirt, oh my god, I can't even. Can you see that? I apologize for any rolls that you may see, but oh my god, I can't even. I got this shirt at Walmart for $1 and I had to. I just had to get it, and it is perfect with what is going on in this whole Journey coup d'etat. Thank you, Lee, for correcting me on how to say that. Coup d'etat. I love that term, even though it's nasty. It has a really bad vibe to it, but I kind of like saying it. Now, the other day when I posted my first video about this whole Journey craziness, I did say that there must be a driving force that made Valory and Smith do this whole thing against Jonathan and Neil. And guess what? I mean, total shocker. Well, anyway, watch this first. I'm guessing there are more than those two guys involved in this whole decision. The total shocker was that Steve Perry was also involved in this decision that kicked out Neil and Jonathan from Nightmare Productions board. Did I absolutely have any idea that Steve Perry was involved in this whole thing? Absolutely not. I mean, I'm pretty good within my own personal life of seeing, you know, maybe things that may happen, things that will potentially happen. I'm kind of good at that. You know, I'm kind of good at reading people. But to say that SP was involved, no way did I see that happening. And also Herbie Herbert, the original manager of Journey, who basically catapulted them to the stratosphere, and they're still there, he was involved as well. There was a little something that kind of tipped me off first thing Friday morning. I am taping this on Sunday. I'm hoping this will come out maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, I'm not sure. First thing Friday morning, I go on Instagram and I, you know, take a look at Neil's Instagram. It popped right up, and someone asked Neil, "Hey Neil, is it true that Steve Perry was involved in this whole thing against you and Jonathan?" And all Neil did was post a zip-mouthed emoji face. Let's face it, guys, that spoke volumes without speaking anything. So I said to myself, holy caca, Steve Perry could potentially have been involved in this whole thing. And I apologize, I do not have the luxury of just popping up and doing a video. As soon as I think about something or I read about something, I just don't have the ability to do that. So I am getting this out to you a couple of days after the whole article was released, but hey, it's better to be late than never, right? My husband then proceeded to say to me, come on, this is not, he didn't even think this whole thing was a thing. He literally said, no way, this is a hoax, it's not happening.
No way, this is a hoax, this is not happening.
And I'm like, dude. I always call him dude.
Don't call me dude.
I call a lot of people dude. I just can't help it. It's just right there. I just do that. I said, dude, this may be a real thing, and sure as, I'm not gonna say the word, but sure as, yeah, an article came out that Steve Perry definitely was involved with Herbie Herbert along with Valory and Smith in the whole coup d'etat. Someone did ask me, you know, hey, what are your feelings on Steve Perry being involved in this? And I can't say, because again, I did not see that whole thing coming. So to even speculate as to why he was involved, we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. It's really, I think, just a mind blower to know that he was in on the meeting. Just that alone is crazy. It's crazy, but it's not, if you know what I'm saying. I love Steve. Listen, I love Steve Perry. Obviously, I just put out a video. I want to interview him. Like, that's like my thing. I want to interview Steve Perry. So I do respect him. You just have to really ask yourself what drove him to do this. There is something bigger. Listen, stop. I will stop right now. Let's just go back a little bit, all right? Remember, there was an agreement with Steve, Jonathan, and Neil. When Steve left Journey for good, he actually handed over, well, of course, he didn't really hand it over because he's still getting paid quite handsomely from Journey revenue, but he gave Jonathan and Neil the right to go forward with the Journey name and to perform as Journey. So there obviously, at that point, couldn't have been a lot of bad blood there. Again, yeah, we get it, right? Now, it sounds like this agreement is good until all three of them collectively, again, I could be reading that wrong, but it seems like until all three of them collectively cannot perform any longer, that agreement is definitely in full force for Jonathan and Neil to go out and perform as Journey. So now it's really time to just dig down to try to get to another layer. What will happen to Journey, their name, their trademark, everything, once all three of them collectively cannot perform? I personally do not see brand new people coming into Journey and moving on as Journey without any of the original members. Now, we know that people do it. Once Jonathan, Neil, and Steve cannot perform or have any participation anymore whatsoever, what is the agreement about what will happen to Journey at that point? If you guys know, if somebody knows, I mean, supposedly a lot of you know a lot of things that have not been released. I had someone say to me, well, I know the real story of why Valory and Smith did this to Jonathan and Neil. I would love to know why. If you want to email me privately and let me know, I have to verify where this information is coming from. I can pass it along. I have no problem doing that. I really would like to know. I do not have any insider information. I don't. If you have some insider information, I'd be more than happy to pass it along because people are really curious, and this has been, I think it did rock the entire classic rock world this past week. It made people sad. A lot of people, including myself, just sad because knowing that this could just be completely broken apart forever and ever, it's just not a great way to end this amazing band's history. Someone also did reach out to me and say that this has nothing to do with money. Now, we have to, again, go according to the facts that Valory and Smith do not have a lot of writing credits with the band. So in terms of income and royalties, they do not have what Neil, Jonathan, and Steve have. It's impossible. It just isn't there. So of course this has to do with money. Money drives everybody to do everything. We need money to live. We need money to go to a concert. We need money to eat. We need money. I don't know what their financial situation is. It just looks like from the outside looking in, just taking everything in, it's gotta be about the retirement thing. They're trying to set themselves up for the rest of their journey on this earth. I get it. I get that. You want to have financial stability as you go forward. How much more money are we talking here? I'm guessing we're talking a lot. I'm not thinking we're talking, a few $1,000s a month, on top of Social Security or something. I'm thinking we're talking about millions upon millions of dollars to just keep them set. So to say that this is not about the money, I can't go with that. And honestly, you're trying to take over the Journey name. It's about the money. Steve Perry really set himself up amazingly well when he left the band.
It was just released that Steve Perry is making more money now than when he was in Journey.
Today, Steve gets 12.5% of all concert revenue. Now that is before Neil and Jonathan get paid, Arnell, and all of the expenses of the band. And Valory and Smith, what they were trying to do, part of their plan was to get a continual income stream from Journey touring, even when they cannot tour any longer. So doing this now, maybe they should have talked about this years prior. Dean Castronovo, former longtime drummer of Journey, he did come out and say that, listen guys, I am not going back to Journey. I'm going on tour with the Dead Daisies in just a few weeks. So I am committed to that project, and Journey is basically going to keep themselves new and fresh. They're not going to go forward with the past. They're just going to move forward into the future. And that's what makes Dean Castronovo so damn cool, because he's just not going to walk away from the Dead Daisies. I was kind of wondering about that. I wondered if Journey did ask him if he wanted to go back back, would he do it? But he came out and said, nope, that is not going to happen. I'm sticking with what I'm doing right now. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I love my band, and this is what it is. You go! Dean Castronovo. And Arnell, you can just imagine, poor Arnell is probably getting slapped in the middle of this entire debacle, but he is so kind and just so sweet, and this is what Arnell tweeted. He said, what can he say? But again, hashtag brotherhood, sisterhood, understanding, forgiveness, benefit of the doubt, and ultimately, love. I mean, that is Arnell. I do suggest that you go to that Ultimate Classic Rock article about how Steve Perry sided with ousted members Ross Valory and Steve Smith, and within that article is the court document of this entire event. But coming into how I feel about it, I have to say, I'm pretty good, again, like, just kind of reading some things. I said that before. This, I'm not good at it. I do not know what is next. I think the big question in my mind and everyone else's mind is why did Steve Perry and Herbie Herbert agree with Valory and Smith on this entire issue? What happened? What incident took place that this happened? So I have formed my opinion on what I have read. You are forming your opinion on what you have read, and possibly on who you like better. It's just tough to put a pinpoint on this one. Ultimately, at the end of the day, let's just send out our positive and good vibes to all the members in Journey. Like Arnell said, hashtag forgiveness. But yes, it will be interesting to see what comes out about the coup d'etat of Journey. Guys, have a great day, a great night, a great weekend, a great everything. And as always, remember, most importantly, to keep rocking.